Okay, g'day, winners. I hope we're all doing great. It's 9:30 on a Sunday morning. Yeah, I'm doing fantastic. So today I want to talk about the housing crisis in Australia and a possible solution to it. Now, I found out because I'm a senior, I receive emails regarding seniors. I saw something this morning and I thought, oh, hang on. Now, a lot of people complain about why don't baby boomers sell their homes so young people can actually buy homes. There's financial reasons why people do not downsize, and it is to do with the government. The government has not raised the threshold for homes, for the assets values and all that in many years. It is something which needs to change. With the way the prices are increasing, the government needs to change the thresholds. But here is a solution to parents out there, yeah, who are semi-retired or retired, and you don't want to say sort of sell your home to affect your pension. How about having it where you make the family home an heirloom? Now you might think, hang on, how can you do that? No, what you do, your oldest offspring, no matter the gender, I don't care whether it's male or female, the oldest offspring then inherits the home once the final parent has passed away. Now you have the now, okay, I'll say this. In the final 4 years of my father's life, nearly 5 years, I was his full-time carer. Okay, I was working part-time because I got bored. I was working part-time, but my bosses knew if anything happened, my father was my top priority, and I had to on many occasions. My boss actually drove me home and drove me to the hospital where Dad was several times. It was fantastic. Um, but like you can come in, say, if you're the oldest offspring, you can come in and become your parents' carer. Now, the Australian government does have a carer's pension. You also receive carer's allowance. Now, you go in, the house is actually parents come in their will to say, yes, we leave the house to so-and-so, the oldest offspring. So that way then the oldest offspring with their family, they live in the house, comes down with the same thing, oldest offspring, gets the house. So it just keeps going down. Now, and this is the way of doing it. Now, you also have it where all the offspring are allowed to stay living in the house. So all the others are allowed to stay living in the house until they're 25 or even 30. So 18 to 25, 30, you're paying rent. Now, 50% of the rent every week or every month gets put into a secret bank account. So when the offspring decides they want to move out, you can actually present them with the bank account to say, hey, this is what I've been setting aside for you. You've been paying X amount of rent per week or per month over the last few years. This is how much I've been setting aside 50% to help you out. Now, that will help them go and buy their own home. Now, here's another thing too with everything. If you have any land at the back of your house and you think, oh, what am I going to do with it? You know what? Go and look at it to build a tiny home, otherwise known as granny flats. Now, granny flats are not for grannies. They initially were. I've lived in one. The last place I lived at in Sydney was a granny flat. It was fantastic. It's like a self-contained apartment. The only thing I didn't like, I never had a bath. That's the only thing I didn't like about it. And that there were no rugs on the floor. But apart from that, it was fine. But like, you can actually go through and look at it. I think, okay, hang on, I've got four offspring. You can go through and have two of these built as two bedrooms. They have their semi-independence in there, but they're also close enough to mum and dad. So they're there to look after their parents if something happens. So you have an intercom system on there, and you have an emergency button as well between each of the homes. So if somebody presses it, it comes up saying where it is. So whether it's in the main house, TH1, TH2, TH3, TH4. So everybody knows where it is. It all gets set up so people know if anything happens. And you've got to have an intercom system. So it's just some ideas because Like, I'm sick and tired of people saying about why do baby boomers not downsize? It's because it's financial reasons where a lot of people do not downsize. Um, and by having family in the home for more time, it actually helps. Well, look at it this way. Say you're like I'm the oldest offspring with my family. I've never married because of certain issues. So say my parents had decided they wanted to stay where we were in Sydney. Um, I'd married my first girlfriend, and my parents said, "Okay, fine, you can move in. The house is yours when we pass away." I could have been there to be their carers. Now, my oldest child would then inherit the house when me and my partner have both passed away. They their obligation is to look after us in our old age. So they can probably get to about 40, and we're in our say in our 60s, or even in our 60s, 70s, and we're starting to get frail aged. They can actually go through and say, okay, I'm going to resign from my job. I'm going to become a carer, care for my parents full time. Now, for those who do not know, carers pension, it is fantastic. It is the same cost, your same amount as the age pension and all other pensions that are around. Plus, you also receive the carer allowance. Now, I believe you receive it per person, not just for one, it is per person. Um, and it's something where it just does help out a lot. So, a lot of people don't think about this. Western cultures have an individualistic mentality, whereas Asian or Eastern cultures have a collective mentality. This is the thing with a lot of people. They just don't, yeah, we all have this. And yeah, I can be individualistic at times. Um, it's the way I was brought up growing up. But like we all need to do something, and we can all get out there. Now, anybody who wants to complain about um, how low the thresholds are with the deeming rates and all that with houses for the assets, you know what? Go onto the Australian Parliament House website. You can create what they call an e-petition to say, hey, it should be allowed where assets are increased. If somebody sells their home, their assets are up to X amount of money. To me, it should be individual. It should be up to $500,000 cash that they've received after from the profit. So when they sell their home, if people decide they want to sell their home and they want to downsize, up to $500,000 is tax free. It is deemed free. Now, this is another thing too. People can actually, when they do downsize, they can actually put money into their superannuation account. There is a different scheme, which I've heard about this morning. Go on to Services Australia, have a look at all the information about it. Hopefully, what I've given you today is some information where you can think, oh, hang on, that's a great idea. I'm going to look into it. Now, what I'm saying here is general advice. You'll need to make your own decisions. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but I'm just giving you some ideas. Now, here's another idea for the housing solution as well, housing crisis, is you get a whole stack of friends together. So you get 4 or 5 years together, and you decide, okay, we're going to pool our money. We're going to buy a house together. As long as none of you have purchased a house in the last or owned a house in the last 10 years, you should qualify for the first homeowners grants and everything like that and schemes. So that's another thing. You come in there, you all come in, you've got lower repayments because you're all sharing the costs. You share all the household costs and everything like that. Make sure you have a written agreement. So if one of you decides to move out, as to what's going to happen with your share. Now, it could be with your share, somebody else moves in, they pay rent, which is going towards the house costs. So the mortgage and all the other costs with the house. It's just some ideas because a lot of people just don't think about things. They don't do research. I do research. I do research with things, and I think fantastic. That's great. This is one thing I've noticed. Poor people find problems to issues, whereas wealthy people will find solutions because that's how they were raised. Poor people are brainwashed to become a slave, for the 40 slave. You work 40 hours a week for 40 years on 40% and you retire on 40% of your income. No, no, that is wrong. You can actually have multiple incomes just from one job. Yeah, okay, hang on, I should clarify there. You have multiple incomes, but you only work one job. Multiple incomes can come from investing in a startup business. So anybody who loves candles, I'm trying to restart my candle business again. This is going to be self-promotion. $25 to purchase Melissa's Traumatic Life Part 1 in print, direct from me. Australia only, guarantees free delivery Australia-wide. These copies are numbered and they are signed in my real legal surname. 250,000 copies only. Once 250,000 copies have been sold, each will be eligible for 2 free shares in the candle business, valued at $50 Australian. So you've doubled your money already. Now you're thinking, oh, hang on, what am I going to do? You know what? You then get an ABN. Applying for an ABN, do not do it through a tax agent. They will charge you upwards of $200 to do it. You can do it free of charge through the ABR website, Australian Business Register website. If you want to know how to do it, we can have a free Zoom call. I can put you on there step by step to show you how to do it. Free of charge. This comes free of charge to those who purchase the book from me. Now, there are ABN benefits. I'm going to rattle off a couple of companies that I know. Campbell's, you can bulk purchase dry groceries. I think they actually do frozen and fresh now, or chilled. So I'm not sure. Officeworks have a 30-day business account. Plus, there are certain items where you use your card, you receive an extra 5% discount. Now, it's a 30 days. I've got mine. I love my card. Right now, I don't owe anything on it because I'm saving up for something. But it's fantastic. Purchase of a motor vehicle. Sometimes you'll see it with ads, ABN holders only, and you'll have a discount for $25. What are you waiting for? So come on, everybody. Now, I'll say this as well. Melissa's Traumatic Life, Part 1. There is a free bonus at the end of it, in it. It is not for anybody under the age of 18 because of the content. So I do admit that. But it is my true story. It is something I've enjoyed writing. I've changed how I write it compared to other copies. So if you go into Smashwords and you look out for my name, and you see my other two, you see all 3 of them there, and you think, oh, hang on, this is not too bad. What I'm doing right now for Melvin's Girlhood Journey, Part 1, I'm actually changing it again. What I'm doing is I'm putting scene so-and-so's bedroom. And this is what I'm doing all the way through now. So my novels will be starting with Melvin's Girlhood Journey once it gets published, which will probably be in October. Excuse me. 2025. It will have these particular things on them. So these are just some of the things. So come on, everybody, get out there and start looking to the future. Don't think about the past. Think about where you want to be in 5 years' time. And also with the shares, you can actually give those shares. If you've got a newborn that is coming to the family or whatever, you have the shares for them. So when they turn 18, they might have a nice little nest egg to start them off to their adulthood. You can transfer the share name into their name. They might be able to say, okay, I'm 18, I'm going to take a 5-year gap year to travel the world. They've still got an income every month without having to worry about working for it or worrying about their financial issues. Like, come on, everybody. Let's think about children's futures. We need to start looking today. Okay? Anyway, thank you very much, and I'll talk to you soon.